Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. In this season, we'll be discussing about pathway analysis. And, and in this particular introductory episode, we'll be treating the introduction to proteins and biological pathways. My name is Priscilla, and I just finished my dissertation on pathway analysis on proteomics data at the African Institute of Mathematical Sciences, Cameroon. And these are practically some of the challenges that I faced while I was getting on this dissertation, and I would like to make clarifications to some of these things. Now, let's get into the video. Now, in this video, we are talking about the introduction to pathways. Number one, and what biological pathways are. So we say proteins, they drive most biological processes. They act in teams called pathways, and that are like sequences of interactions that produce specific cellular outcomes, which we are going to see in the coming slides. So when we talk about proteins, proteins are the basic essential, molecular components of the blood that regulates our body. So they direct most of the cellular processes. They shape our health and diseases, and even most therapies and most medicines that have been evolving these days are targeted to proteins because they form a very compound effect on our body. Okay, now when we conduct a typical proteomics experiment, we'll get to have a lot of proteins, and in studying these proteins, it's kind of tedious. So that is how pathway analysis sets in. The idea of pathway sets in. So in pathway, we are talking about we are talking about different groups of proteins that perform specific functions. So we could just imagine it as a city where in that city, the people in that city are the proteins. And now these proteins in that city come together to perform specific tasks like masonry, carpentry in the city. And so those groups will be pathways, and then the people themselves will be proteins. I hope this is clear. Now, when it comes to pathways, we say that the proteins operate cooperatively. They form all the sequences of interactions and they accomplish cellular tasks. Such coordinated pathways are what we call the biological pathways within the cells. Now, when it comes to biological pathways, we have three forms of biological pathways. Number one, the metabolic pathways. We have the gene regulation mechanism pathways, and we have the signal transduction pathways. And we will get to explain each of them so that we get a brief understanding of what they entail. Now let's discuss metabolic pathways. So in metabolic pathways, we are looking at chemical reactions that transform a starting molecule into an end product. So in these pathways, we have two types. We have the catabolic pathways, we have the anabolic pathways. Now, the catabolic pathways, what they do is that they do the breaking down. So, for instance, if you consume something where there are enzymes that are supposed to help whatever you have consumed to be broken down into sugar for your body to be able to absorb, the breaking down is regulated by these catabolic pathways. And we have the anabolic pathways which come together to build. Okay, so they build. So that is what metabolic pathways does. Now let's discuss the next pathway type, which is gene regulation pathways. Now, these gene regulation pathways are pathways that basically turns on or off genes. So, like if they are the control room of the body, so or of the gene system. So they determine which gene is supposed to be on at this time, which gene is supposed to be off at this time. Yes, so this is just a little about the gene regulation pathways. Now, when it comes to the signal transduction pathways, we are talking about the information system of the information system pathways. Now, what these pathways do is that they transfer information in and out of the cell. So, if there's an information that needs to get into the cell, they are the kind of pathways that do that transmission. Now, if information is also supposed to be transferred out of the cell, these are the pathways that do those things. So, this is quite like a summary of what these pathways are, the proteins are. So in this video, we discuss that the proteins are the basic units of, the body. They foster so many things in the body, and they do not work alone. They work in pathways, which they have three groups, which are the metabolic, the signal transduction, and the gene regulation pathways. Now, in the next video, we are going to discuss how we analyze these pathways to, for us to make meaning out of them, and also the tools that we'll be using to discover, and the kind of interpretation that we are going to give. So watch out for the next episode. Bye bye. Thanks for watching.